Last episode we left off with the mysterious boss of the Red Hand finally showing his face. Heavy footsteps, a towering figure, all exuding an oppressive aura. Yet, Roberta and Hector can't shake the feeling that this man seems familiar.
You seek a Scorpion?
How could this be? It turns out to be Vasquez, who left on his own 6 months ago. Hector is incredulous. Back then, he committed heinous acts, killing Vasquez's wife and daughter, leaving Vasquez in perpetual agony. Vengeance became Vasquez's sole purpose in life. However, when Hector decided to mend his ways and willingly faced death, Vasquez found himself unable to go through with his revenge, storming off from the X-Squad in a fit of rage. But why would Vasquez pretend to be himself and form Red Hand? What happened in between? Roberta, on the other hand, didn't think too much about it. She was just glad the person she liked was still alive. However, Vasquez, upon seeing old acquaintances, showed little reaction. Even with Hector, the murderer of his wife and daughter, standing right before him, he remained cold, as if he was looking at ants or strangers. Roberta stood up, looking expectantly at Vasquez, but all she received was a cold inquiry.
Sorry. I didn't expect to find you here.
I think it must be mistaken.
What's going on here? Could Vasquez have lost his memory? Or does he have an identical twin? Vasquez no longer paid attention to Roberta.
Who are you?
Alvarez. Hector Alvarez.
I know you.
Hearing this, Hector thought Vasquez had remembered him and was ready to atone, but unexpectedly, Vasquez changed the topic, saying, "You're just like everyone else, thinking you're better than me. You all want the peace and safety I bring, yet you disdain my cruel methods. The apocalypse needs madmen like me. Don't you agree?"
Are you sure you remember who I am?
Hector might have been truly evil in the past, but at least he didn't shy away from his crimes. He rolled up his sleeve, revealing a tattoo of a little boy, symbolizing his rank as the second in command of the Zero Group. This tattoo once identified the murderer of Vasquez's wife and daughter, something Vasquez surely couldn't forget. But Hector miscalculated again. Vasquez simply showed surprise before he too rolled up his sleeve, revealing a tattoo of a little girl.
That one just like it.
How could this be? Could Vasquez's intense hatred for Hector have driven him to madness, imagining himself to be his adversary? Then Vasquez ignored them, ordering his men to lock up Hector and son May, leaving only Roberta behind.
Why are you here?
I need your help.
Roberta mentioned wanting to cooperate. Needing Red Hand's help to complete a mission and develop a vaccine to save humanity. But Vasquez wasn't convinced, mocking Roberta's foolish dreams. Roberta no longer mentioned it. Her current plan was to make Vasquez remember who he was. So she boldly approached Vasquez and unbuckled his belt. Then she lifted Vasquez's shirt, saying, "This is the wound we got together during a mission. I have one too, and it was you who stitched it up for me." As she spoke, Roberta tiptoed and kissed him. Vasquez didn't resist and even seemed to enjoy this brief passion. Roberta was overjoyed, thinking he indeed remembered her.
Scorpion. Guards! Get her out of my sight.
Roberta was then locked up. Her efforts to find an ally not only failed, but she ended up imprisoned herself. Hector remorsefully said, "Vasquez must have spared me back then and felt guilty towards his wife and daughter, driving him insane. It's all my fault. What I did to Vasquez's family, I deserve to die for." But Roberta felt it was useless to talk about it now. They needed to find a way to awaken Vasquez, or they were likely to die here. Hector pondered Roberta's words and then made an incomprehensible move.
And if he doesn't snap out of it?
Then I kill him.
Roberta tried to resist, but Hector's strength was overwhelming, and she was choked unconscious within seconds. 5 minutes later, Roberta groggily heard someone calling her. She opened her eyes to see the dead guard beside her. Clearly, Hector had managed to escape.
The Easter Bunny! Yeah, Senor Salsa! The amigo.
I have no idea. Walked out the door.
Damn it! Just when I was beginning to like you.
With this turn of events, Roberta and son May were brought out again, and Vasquez was already waiting in the hall.
Where's the other one?
He escaped. Not for long.
Vasquez wasn't worried about Hector escaping because it was only a matter of time before he was caught. He once again asked Roberta about her purpose here and what the syringe was for.
Our mission. You gotta remember this. We were trying to get Murphy to California.
As Roberta was explaining, noise came from outside, and Hector burst in. Hector had intended to escape alone to find a way to awaken Vasquez, having to pay for his past deeds. He didn't expect to be discovered so quickly. Red Hand's methods for dealing with disobedient people are very cruel. Vasquez, in a good mood today, stripped off his clothes, ready to take matters into his own hands.
Don't kill him.
Who are you? I'm the real Scorpion.
Who are you?
Yo soy Scorpion. I killed for la reina. Los ceros. I have the tattoo.
I killed for Lorena in Los Ceros. I have the tattoo.
Scorpion. Scorpion killed your family. And I killed your family.
You're lying!
No.
Uncovering scars is a cruel process, and Hector knew he had no chance of survival once Vasquez remembered. But to ensure the safety of Roberta and son May, Hector chose this method to provoke Vasquez, marking his path of atonement. Memories of past pains flooded Vasquez's mind once again. Roberta's tears fell. She felt sorry for Vasquez, and she also worried that Vasquez would kill Hector, who was seeking redemption. Vasquez was emotional for only a few seconds before regaining his composure and ferocity, and I wonder if he's regained his memory.
Let him fight.
No, you gotta stop it.
Hector didn't back down, grabbing a knife to duel. If he died, it would allow Vasquez to avenge himself in a manly way. The first round. In the second round, Hector blocked Vasquez's attack, but Vasquez pulled out a dagger from his waist and stabbed Hector in the abdomen several times.
I am a Scorpion. Say it.
Roberta broke down crying, realizing Vasquez was no longer her former partner. Now, he was just the cruel leader of the Red Hand. Seeing Hector on the ground, despite his past evil deeds, now he was her loyal companion and ally. Roberta knew how hard Hector had worked for redemption. Thinking this, Roberta made a tough decision. Everything from the past was gone with this single stroke. Vasquez had always remembered. He just chose not to face it. Now he was relieved, able to reunite with his wife and daughter in heaven.
It's okay, Roberta.
His last wish before dying was not to become a zombie, asking Roberta to grant him mercy.
Mercy.
Go home to your family.
With that, Roberta pulled out her long knife, and she said the words in pain.
I give you mercy.
As Vasquez's head fell to the ground, the scene fell silent, with no Red Hand members stepping forward. Roberta turned to look at Hector, struggling on the ground in pain.
You were right. Oh God, he's dying. Do something.
Son May was powerless to save him. The injury was beyond help. All she had was an experimental zombie vaccine that hadn't been tested on humans. Now, they could only inject it and see. Life is indeed strange. Just that morning, Hector told son May he wouldn't be the first guinea pig. Yet Murphy's Law proved true. Unfortunately, the vaccine seemed to make Hector's condition worse, and he died convulsively within seconds.
It didn't work.
But then, son May noticed Hector didn't turn into a zombie, indicating the vaccine had some effect, albeit lacking in effective clinical trials. Roberta, though heartbroken, stood up calmly. After all, there were still many Red Hand members around. Hopper drew his long sword, his face serious at this moment. Everyone thought Hopper was about to seek revenge for the boss, but unexpectedly, he stood up holding Vasquez's head. Outsiders had no idea that within the Red Hand, there was a rule: whoever could kill and decapitate the leader would become the next boss. Thus, Hopper kneeled, submitting to the new leader, Roberta. In this way, Roberta, who initially sought allies, unexpectedly gained an army. Her makeup also changed, ready to deal with Murphy, that scoundrel, using the Red Hand's unscrupulous methods. However, no one knew that inside the Red Hand's headquarters, Hector's body underwent a new change due to that vaccine. On the other side, X-Squad's Addie and Doc, after enduring countless hardships, finally arrived at the place where Murphy once placed his daughter, Lucy. At that moment, they saw 3 flamboyantly dressed zombies in the yard, with a child nearby. Doc was about to rush over to rescue the child when the child turned around. Addie frowned. The blue skin. Could this be Lucy? But how could that child, not even 2 years old, be so large?